Okay, so picture this. You're hours deep into a silent meditation retreat. The whole world is pretty much shrunk down to the space of your own breath. And right there, in all that quiet, a dull ache starts up in your knee. It's a minor thing, right? But then your mind, which is an expert storyteller, by the way, well, it gets to work.
And all of a sudden, it's not just a simple ache anymore. Oh no, it's a full-blown catastrophe. Your mind starts whispering these dark predictions, spinning this tiny, simple strain into a huge story about permanent ruin. And since you've got zero distractions, no phone to scroll, no one to talk to, that story becomes incredibly loud, frighteningly real.
And just like that, the actual physical feeling in your knee is gone. It's completely buried under all these layers of fear and worry about the future. The story you're telling yourself becomes way more painful than the sensation itself. And look, we all do this. It doesn't matter if it's physical pain, a failure at work, or a relationship problem. Our minds just spiral.
So the big question is, how do we stop that spiral? Well, the answer is in this idea I want to explore with you, something I'm calling the quiet vow. It's a way of thinking about resilience that goes so much deeper than just bouncing back. Now, the standard psychological definition is a really great place to start. It tells us resilience isn't some kind of shield you're either born with or you're not. Instead, it's a flexible, dynamic practice. It's a skill you can actually cultivate, a process of adapting. It's active, not passive. But there's another layer to this, a deeper one. And that deeper layer comes from this concept called adhitthana. It's a term from the ancient Pali language, and it means resolute determination. But here's the key distinction, and this is so important. This isn't about gritting your teeth and just using brute force to power through. Not at all. It's a quiet internal vow to keep going with clarity and a calm sense of purpose. You know, this quiet vow, it doesn't just stand on its own. It's really supported by a trio of practices. First, you've got determination. That's the engine, the simple will to push forward. Then you've got discipline, the self-control to stay on course. And finally, stamina. That's the juice in the tank to keep going when things get stressful. You put those three together and you've got the foundation for this really profound kind of resilience. Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, but how does it actually work in practice? Let's talk about turning that concept of pain into a real sense of purpose. The path looks something like this. First, adversity hits. A deal falls through. The pain starts. You know the drill. Second, the mind does its thing and spirals into all those stories of doom and gloom. But here's the pivot. Step 3. This is the game changer. You intentionally calm yourself down, and you just observe. What are the facts here, without the story? And then, from that quiet, clear space, you make the vow to begin again. You can almost hear this exact mindset in the way Arnold Schwarzenegger used to talk about his workouts. He wasn't fighting the pain. He actually reframed it as a signal that he was growing. He called it effortless effort. He'd be smiling through those final, brutal reps. No drama, no resistance, just a calm focus on the next step. I mean, that's adhitthana in the gym right there. But to really get a handle on what makes our human resilience so special, it actually helps to compare it to a totally different kind of strength, the kind we build into our machines. And wow, the differences are stark. Our resilience is felt. A machine's is just coded. We are fundamentally vulnerable. A machine is designed to be invulnerable. But the biggest gap, the most important one, is right here. For us, resilience is a conscious choice. For a machine, it's completely automatic. It just continues. We, on the other hand, have to choose to begin again. I mean, just think about it. When a server fails, a redundant backup just instantly kicks in. An AI never has a bad day. It doesn't get its feelings hurt or spiral into self-doubt. It just processes data with absolutely no emotional baggage, no hesitation from past failures. It's just perfectly, relentlessly efficient. And yeah, while we might envy that perfect clockwork steadiness sometimes, we have to remember their strength isn't born from struggle. It's simply programmed. At the end of the day, it's just code, not a conscious, hard-won choice. And that brings us right back to our unique power, our human magic. It lies precisely in the things that machines don't have, our vulnerability and our capacity for choice. This right here is where we find our real power. True strength isn't about building walls so high that nothing can ever hurt you. It's about having the courage to feel the hit,
to acknowledge the vulnerability, and then to meet it with that quiet, resolute vow to continue. This is our gift. It's our superpower. A machine continues. A human begins again. In that moment right after failure, after pain, after heartbreak, we have the chance to make a choice. We can find a little bit of calm in the middle of all the chaos and decide to take the next breath, the next step. That decision, that is the purest form of human resilience. So I'll leave you with this. Think about your own life, your own challenges, your own aching knees. What story is your mind telling you? And what if you could set that story aside, just for a moment, and connect with that quiet resolve inside of you? What will you choose to begin again?